Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
And entrepreneur, small businessman, Breezy Gipson.
And we're glad that you're with us today. We've got a show lined up for you. We've got tons of music industry news. Of course, there's going to be beats by yours truly. And you want to tell them who our special guest is that is returning? We haven't had her on in a while. I'm so glad she's coming back.
Oh my gosh. I'm really excited because coming to us one more time, to us and all of our listeners, the one and only singer extraordinaire, Miss Oyku Dogan. I mean, hey,
Yes,
we can't wait. We can't wait.
absolutely. And so, super huge shout out to our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Atlanta, Georgia. And, I'm really excited to get to the show. But you know what? One of the things I should mention before we dig into the official news is that I've got an instrumental album hitting Bandcamp Friday, August 5th, just in
Uh-oh.
time for Bandcamp Friday. So yeah, make sure that you check that out. That is achickwitbeatz.bandcamp.com. Or you can find it, the link to it on my website at achickwitbeatz.com. And that is ACHICKWITBEATZ.com.
Oh man, hey, that's big news right there. I mean, I can't wait.
Yes, I put some love into it for the labor, and I just really hope everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's fantastic news. And hey, we're gonna do everything we can to get that out there because the peeps, they need to know about it.
For sure. All right, so without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into it. How about it?
How about that? Oh yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
we're back with music industry news. You may have heard, especially if you're a subscriber, but Spotify has raised the flagship premium price in the US. Other markets will be following pretty soon. And so the individual subscriptions are increasing by $1 to $10.99. And this is the first time that they've ever done it. And, most people say it's been kind of long overdue, probably except for the people paying for it. But, they've been trying to become profitable. And they typically say that that's the reason why they can't afford to pay artists more, is because, they're not bringing in enough money. So, we haven't heard any talks about those royalty rates increasing. Matter of fact, we know that they're fighting the recent increase that did get approved. But, theoretically speaking, if they keep making these adjustments, then there's no excuse. But at the very, very least, artists should be able to get a penny per stream, wouldn't you say?
Man, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Yes, to answer your question, yes, I do agree.
Yeah. And, this is kind of like a two-parter, because shortly after they announced that they were going to be raising the prices, they announced that their premium subscriber base grew by 10 million in the second quarter to reach 220 million paying users. So we're not talking about using the free Spotify where you get the weird ads in between, or you can't select the exact song you want to listen to from the album. You kind of got to do the whole shuffle thing. No. 220 million paying users as of the second quarter of this year. So the company's total revenue, which includes both premium and ad supported, reached 3.5 billion in the second quarter, which was up 14% compared to the last year. They're bringing in 3.5 billion almost, and yet artists can't get a penny per stream. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to harp on it too hard, because we do use Spotify for podcasters to bring this show to some people after it airs on the stations. But man, I mean, yeah. That might be a whole nother episode, a topic for another time. But hey, they're making some steps into the right direction. Hopefully that will trickle down to the artists who are actually providing the content for them to be able to make the money, right?
In full agreement. And, I'll leave it right there.
Yeah. All right, Warner Music Group and TikTok have inked what they're calling the first of its kind expanded licensing agreement. And, the app's actually trying to grow its upstart streaming service. We talked about TikTok Music, a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And so the joint press release that they shared said that it will create new revenue, marketing, and insights opportunities for Warner's artists and songwriters, while deepening the engagement with TikTok's huge audience of passionate music fans. So the deal includes TikTok's new streaming service in foreign markets and CapCut, and TikTok's video editing sister app. So, I'm sorry, that is what CapCut is. But speaking of TikTok music, they're also expanding to Australia, Mexico, and Singapore. So a couple weeks we shared that they launched in Brazil and Indonesia. So they're already making strides to just keep rolling it out to these other markets. And so for right now, the new ones, it's opened in what they're calling closed beta among a group of volunteer users. So the test participants actually get a 3-month trial of the subscription-only music service to kind of give them feedback of what they think works well or what they can improve. What do you think about that?
Well, hey, it's always good to send feeders out in different directions, depending on what business you're in. Sometimes they refer to as spiders. You send spiders out and they do a little legwork crawling to find the opportunities and then come back and report back, what they found. But, hey, growth is growth. And, if they're moving in the aforementioned countries that you just brought up, then hey, that's some legitimate and definite growth right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because a lot of times when you're reading these stories, they refer to them as emerging markets. Supposedly, according to most, research, they claim that the US is the largest music market, so that's why, a lot of times artists want to kind of get on our charts so that way they do better back home. But I mean, when you put all of those markets together, they have way more power than the US. And so the fact that they're actually introducing it to these areas first before even bringing it to the US should tell you something, right? And we were just talking last week about how the English language is kind of decreasing in popularity in the charts. So, the world is becoming more, not to use that old term, but a little more flat as far as that goes. And I don't mean in real life, people. I'm not a flat earther. But as far as making sure that everybody's kind of got equal parts, everybody can hear music from everywhere. I mean, the spectrum is widening, it's broadening. Because, I mean, in comparison to the rest of the world, the US is pretty small. So this makes sense to me. And, hint, hint, if you're one of those artists that, just kind of focus, especially US artists that just kind of focuses on home, the world is much bigger than your neighborhood, much bigger than your block, much bigger than wherever you are. So make sure that when you're making music, you get it to where the people are and where people might want to listen. So you never know. I mean, you could be in small town similar like Kalamazoo, but it could be somebody in Rio that wants to rock with your music. So make sure that when you're getting this distribution, you can get in all these areas and vice versa.
Yes, yes, yes. And nothing worse than a person having small vision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nothing worse than that. When if they just open their eyes wider and get a larger vision of what's going on as far as people being in other places, that could be very, it can increase revenue, it can increase profits, it can increase earnings. Okay, if they're having a problem understanding where I'm going with that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if you think about some of the social media posts that you see where people are complaining, or maybe there's memes saying, such and such, and the city's always blacked out. So there was something else that was there before somebody adds their city talking about how people don't support them. So it'd be like, I don't know, Bucktown artists don't support other Bucktown artists, and Springfield artists don't, and it just keeps going and going. And, it's like, okay, well, while that might be frustrating, if you feel like you're not getting the support where you are, go where you can get it. And a lot of times that's when the hometowns start to take more notice, is when people outside of the home say, hey, this artist is pretty good. So yeah, just think bigger than wherever you are. If you feel compelled to make music, that means that there's somebody that needs to hear it. So just keep going until you find who those somebodies are.
Yeah. By all means, because there's a lot of folks who have started out with a creation and got no support locally. Got no support locally at all. And so, they found long distance support. And that's what got them off the ground. So yeah, understanding completely what you're saying.
And speaking of finding support, Odyssey has announced Launch, which is a new music discovery program for emerging artists. And so they're going to use their platform to try to help those artists reach people who will enjoy their music. So they're using a combination of broadcast and digital airplay. They said that they have on-air artist vignettes, digital editorial, and engaging social content. So they're doing what they can to kind of spread the awareness of different emerging artists. So far they have people picked out for some of their plans. They're doing specific genres right now, but they intend to kind of increase it and add on. So definitely something to kind of check out. Or if you're one of those people that, you might be looking for new music, you might want to follow Odyssey and see if you can catch some of these rising stars. Maybe you could even collab with them and kind of increase your audience. See, free game right there.
Oh, yeah. Strong stuff right there. Say that twice.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. These last couple of stories just kind of highlight some of the trends that are going on. And as we've mentioned before, it's always good to be aware of what's happening on the larger scale, so that way you can figure out, where to shape your focus as you're working towards your career. So first thing, Band in Town passes 80 million registered live music fans and 589,000 artists. So that's a lot. And so if you're looking at that more closely, it was an increase of 10 million in the last year. So that's reflecting that people who are passionate about live music are returning to shows in record numbers. So now they're signing up so that way they can find out where the bands they love will be performing so they can get there. And we were just talking maybe about a month or so ago about how Ticketmaster was saying, yeah, we can actually afford to charge these prices because people are going to make cuts elsewhere because they want to get to those concerts. So yeah, that's definitely something to be aware of, and notice that, people are hungry for this right now. So if you're thinking about doing shows, now is a great time to get back out there and do it. Or if you're an artist that doesn't use Bands in Town, then maybe you want to, because you might have some super fans out there that are actually trying to get to see you wherever you may be as well. So hey, it's a big trend that's going on. People are ready. They've missed doing the live shows. People are finally getting back into the swing of things after, quarantine and all that. So hey, definitely take advantage of that information and figure out how to apply it where it'll work best for you.
Yes, and we touched on the fact that, hey, 'tis the season right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and having said that, it trickles all the way back down to no matter who you are in music and where you are in music, you got to put in the work to practice.
Yeah.
Okay? You got to stay practice ready, because keep your chops up. You never know when you get an email or phone call requesting you to come on and join this performance right here. And if you hadn't been practicing, if you're not chops ready, that could be an embarrassment. So, you got the very minimum. You got to practice and keep your stage presence ever ready, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially if you're a rapper, make sure that you know your lyrics, because I promise you, no one wants to hear you rapping over your lyrics. Get the performance track. It's okay to have some ad-libs yelling in there, and the chorus or the hook. But yeah, like he said, stay sharp. Brush up on your lyrics. Nobody wants to hear you rapping over a song.
Right. And I recently I saw someone rapping to their cell phone. I mean, when I say that, I'm talking about getting the lyrics off their cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah, nobody wants that. So yeah, brush up on your game, because people will remember those performances. So even if they're a fan of the music, if you don't have a good live show, a lot of times people will share things that they're not happy about a lot faster than things that they are. So you don't want to taint your reputation that way.
No.
All right. Okay. Another tidbit, a statistic that is very useful to know. 15% of the general population in the U.S. are super fans. So what that basically is, the U.S. market monitor Illuminate defines a superfan as a music listener that's older than 13 and engages with an artist and their content in multiple ways, whether that's streaming, social media, or purchasing physical music or merch and attending live shows. So according to the report, superfans spend 80% more on music each month than the average US-based music listener. So the physical music buyers of vinyl, CD, or cassette tapes are more than twice as likely to be music superfans. So you know what that means when you're out there doing those shows and you're paying attention to the person that's like, ooh, I want this shirt you got, or oh, when we have the vinyl, let me get this CD. There's a chance that that person will be way more engaged than anybody else that might just follow you or give a like to something that you post. So that can kind of let you know, I mean, be appreciative of all your fans, but make sure that you're paying attention to what your potential super fans may be looking for from you, and make sure that you engage with them, because those are the ones that are kind of going to carry the rest to you. So yeah, definitely a helpful tidbit. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, all in all agreement with that. Um, no messing around. Got to get it. Got to get it.
Yeah. All right, and that does it for this week's music industry news. Hang tight because we're going to pause for the cause really quick, and then we'll be back with our special guest, Miss Oyku Dogan. Yay!
Yeah.
Hey fam, this is Breezy Gipson from the Breeze team. How would you like to see an online platform that brings you people who've already indicated that they're interested in your particular type of business? Whether it's your music you're selling, hip-hop clothing, you got a restaurant or a cafe, or if you're an entrepreneur or agent for a business. Visit me at breeze2cheese.com. That's using the number 2, breeze2cheese.com, or click my bio link on my Instagram profile to see a live demo of how this can help you get more customers and make more money.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen.
Oh man, we are just excited. We stay excited here with good reason and great reason. Because today we are joined by a young lady who is touching a lot of folks in a lot of places all around the globe with her talents, with her personality, with her sound. And so I guess without any further ado, we're not going to steal any of her thunder. Bring her right to you right now, the one and only incredible Oyku Dogan. Miss Dogan, are you with us?
Wow, what a lovely introduction. Thank you. I'm super excited.
Yeah, well, thank you for your comment. And but an introduction, it couldn't be any less. For a guest like you, it couldn't be any less than what it was, even maybe more. So yeah, thank you for taking your time to join us on this day. Now, Achickwitbeatz and I, we're familiar with you, but we may have new listeners that aren't. So in a nutshell, can you share a little bit about who is Oyku and just what is she about today in this year we're in right now?
I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm based in Italy, but I was born in Turkey. I have released different albums and songs in the past, and I keep doing it because music is is my life. Yeah, it might seem cheesy, but it's the truth. I'm also a composer and also a jazz pianist. I mainly focus on pop and indie music for my singer-songwriter career, but I love to try also different styles. So this is like the short version of what I could say about myself.
Okay. Achickwitbeatz, what you think about that?
I mean, I just think it's a wonderful thing to have so many talents and be able to exercise them in the manner that you do. Is there, would you say, maybe someone or something that inspired you to be a songwriter in addition to being a singer?
I think my songwriting and composing instinct came even before singing. I mean, of course, I was singing even when I was a baby. I was inventing melodies, but I started playing the piano when I was 5, and as soon as I was able to play some melodies and things, I started composing. So it came before. And then, of course, I always loved singing, but I started to take it seriously later. I was in children's choirs and everything, but as an actual singer, I think I started when I was a teenager, and then I started writing lyrics when I was a teenager. So yeah, it was like this, the timeline of it. Actually, yeah. I wrote my first song with guitar, which is really ironic because I'm actually very good at playing the piano, the guitar. I only played for a few years. So, but I think it inspired me to start writing lyrics and start writing songs.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty incredible, don't you think, Reese?
Yes, when I think of, such a ball of incredibleness that we see in you, and now that we hear you speak again, there's a lot of talent inside that is just boiled up all into one ball, going into different directions as far as the singing, as far as the writing, as far as piano, being a pianist at a young age of 5, on a guitar, and this, that, the other. You're a lot of times super big things come in small packages. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I mean, I appreciate all these amazing things that you're saying about me. Yeah, I think I've always been very open-minded, and I always love, also in a normal day, I love multitasking, and I think this also affects how I view the music. So I love different genres. I love doing different things at the same time. I don't like to limit myself just with one thing. I love to discover new things, different things. And yeah, in the past, maybe, I don't know, some teachers or producers, they always told me to just choose one path and go with it. But that wasn't me. So I'm so glad that in the end I listened to my instincts. So yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of times when people can't see the full picture, like maybe their particular vision is narrow, a lot of times they kind of try to inflict that on others. But everything that you've said has just pointed back to the fact that it's just in you, especially as you're creating melodies as, a little one. And like Breezy said, when you had mentioned that you started playing instruments so early, if it's just in you the way that it is, it makes sense that it's coming out at different times and different ways. And, yeah, it'd be truly a shame to stifle that. I'm glad you didn't listen too.
Thanks.
Yeah. We'll see. Now, those are a couple of things right there that you and I share in common, because at age 5, my mother had me joining a piano academy. Okay, but then by age 11 or 12, I too was becoming a guitarist, a kid guitarist. Okay, and so I don't know how many people that I have shared this with, that I felt that, just those two elements right there allowed my my personality to prosper, my brain to develop, and in many ways. Okay, so could you agree with what I'm saying with yourself as far as the piano, and then easing to the guitar, and then you found yourself a little bit more ambidextrous? Is that true?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think also all of these different things maybe activate different parts of your personality. They also, you use different parts of your brain for each of these things. The piano is very complicated, sophisticated, also how the brain works for playing the piano. Or maybe singing, in that case, you should be more extroverted. Composing, you should be more maybe introverted. So I think it connects with different parts of who you are. I mean, in the end, all of these small things, they create you, and they all come together. Also, maybe that's why I became more, like, as a person, international. I moved to another country. I have friends from different cultures. They're all, you know, little pieces coming together. And yeah, so yeah, totally understand and agree with what you're saying.
Okay, okay. And so now, along with that, I also see a certain vision and hear a certain vision from you now as being an influencer and cultivator with our young folks these days. Because the words that are coming from you right now are words that our younger folks really need to hear. Okay, a lot of times they're not exposed to folks who are multi-talented as you are, and so I think, you know, just off the top, that around children or around younger folks, that you would be a real big positive influence. You think?
Thanks a lot. Actually, the last time we were talking, I think I still wasn't, but now I'm teaching, like I'm a vocal coach. It's been a few years, and before, I'm gonna be honest, it was never something that I was thinking of doing, you know, teaching. It wasn't my dream, because I've never tried it, but now that I started doing it, I really love it. And being able to share these wonderful things, and also seeing the results, being able to inspire someone, it's really magical, and I think it helps you grow as well. I also learned a lot of things from them, for example. And the great thing is, the youngest one is 9 years old, the oldest one is more than 60 years old, and I have different students with different backgrounds, but we're sharing the music and it connects us all, and it's really special. So yeah, I feel really grateful about this experience, which is something new that happened in these years, let's say.
Well, Achickwitbeatz, I got to ask you a question. Wouldn't you agree? I bet those young folks are just soaking up every bit from Miss Dogan as far as what she's teaching and training and sharing. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, think about how much we're getting right now, you know, just from talking. So yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing, to be able to share your wisdom with them. And, you know, because you've dropped so many gems since we've even started this particular interview. So yeah, I know that they're definitely benefiting from it. You know, I think we kind of talked the last time a little bit about what it's like being from Turkey and then, you know, in Italy. How has that kind of shaped your music, just for any new listeners that, you know, might be kind of curious, you know, being in a country that's not your own and just kind of absorbing the culture in addition to what you've already had as a foundation?
I think, but traveling in general, but also moving to a different country. I came to Italy to study music. You know, I have always studied, but this was for college. So it was like a big decision, saying that I'm gonna dedicate my life to this thing. So, you know, seeing people from different cultures. Also, Italy is very important if you think about the music history. So seeing also, it's a wonderful, really beautiful country. It also changes, you know, your point of view, because also Turkey is very beautiful, but it's different. So how you create music, I think, changes. Like, the vibes are so different. So maybe how the way you are inspired changes a lot. Those are the first things that I've noticed, how you approach maybe, especially composing, creating. There are also a lot of similarities. Both are Mediterranean countries and people are really warm and friendly. So I would never be able to survive otherwise, because I'm also quite friendly and I love, those interactions and everything, sharing ideas and collaborations. So yeah, some things work different, some things were quite similar. And I also love traveling a lot. Whenever I go to a different city or a different country, I come back and I already feel a little changed. So maybe this adds something else also to the music. And it's just like what we said before, adding different elements and to the big picture, let's say.
Incredible.
Okay, so now there's a key word that you just mentioned in that last statement, and that was music. Okay, so now can you, with this being the year that we're in right now, and you may be getting ready to buff up and do some extensive work, creations, all kinds of things like that. Okay, so now where do you see your music as it is right now? And also, where do you look to work on as this rest of the year transpires?
So in the past few years, I experimented a lot, I can say, with different styles, collaborations with different musicians. Maybe I tried some things that I've never tried before. So I had this courage of trying different things and risking, because usually what they suggest is the opposite, always going, if you're a pop artist, you should stay that way and things like that. But I'm happy I tried all of these things. I think now I'm more sure about who I am. So the songs that I've been writing in this last year, they're different, but they feel more like me. Because before, I think I was telling a lot of stories, but they were other people's stories. But the difference with the new songs are they feel like they're more my stories or my point of view. So I am working on my third album, but I would like it to be much more of a storytelling album. So I was actually planning on releasing it much earlier, but then I said, this time I'm gonna take it slow and just discover and see it as a journey, not rush anything, because I'm also used to, working on things and releasing. I always get so excited. So I kept on releasing so many things in these last years. So I took some time off, and now I feel ready to do this, to start this new chapter. So I think maybe this might help also with the potential new audience in the future, that they might get to know me better, and maybe they might become actual fans, let's say, listeners, because whenever you release something different, maybe you release something pop and then you release something electronic, the pop music lovers, they run away. They get scared. Or the opposite, like you do something electronic and others run away. Like maybe this could help telling who I really am. I have all these different parts, but also this is me, like all these things are a part of me. So yeah, I feel really excited but also calm about it. So I don't know if maybe, hopefully, this winter it might be the time to release it. But before that, I will definitely be releasing some singles that are ready. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. Because, yeah, I get what you're saying. Because it's like once they get to know you, they get to see how all those different things fit together and how it's not out of the ordinary just because people are used to putting, artists in certain boxes and don't want them to move from them. But yeah, as you share more of yourself, then I'll be like, okay, I get why this is electronic. I get why this is pop. This all fits together like as a whole. Yeah, that's really awesome.
Hopefully, I hope so.
Now I can see on the horizon. It may be sooner than you think. One of your students or proteges or trainees reaching out to you to say, look, I want to do this, so on and so forth, and I'd be honored if you would participate in this project with me. Now, if that happened tomorrow, or let's say 3, 5, 6 months from now, how would you really feel? Would you be elated, or would you be, would you take that as a compliment? Or, I mean, that would be a real stunning event for one of your proteges to come to you and ask your participation, wouldn't it? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, totally. I would be super excited and honored. One of my students, she started writing songs and releasing them, and it was really, exciting seeing her grow and starting, like, taking this huge step and having the courage to do that. So these kind of things are really, emotional, exciting. And if some of them wanted to do something like that, I would be honored. I was actually thinking of involving them somehow in maybe a song of mine to share a special moment together. Maybe we could sing some parts together and stuff. I mentioned it to some of them and they were also really excited. Mm-hmm. So yeah, totally. I think we will be doing something. We don't know yet, but it will be really special, at least for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that will be something they'll cherish and kind of hold dear for a while. Like, oh yeah, we remember when we did this with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now, speaking of your music again, why don't you share with our listeners where your music can be found, and so much as where they can go to purchase it?
It can be found on Spotify, Apple Music, under the name of Oyku Dogan. But also on YouTube, I have some covers as well. I also, I'm on Instagram and now also on TikTok. I started sharing some covers and videos. So I'm kind of everywhere. Yeah. I would also like to go back to sharing more covers. I used to do new cover Fridays. I had this hashtag and I would share a cover every Friday. So I don't know if I will be able to keep up that rhythm, but at least regularly, I would love to go back to sharing more things, which is also a huge motivation for me because you decide and you have to keep it going. So you don't find any excuses. You don't say, oh, I'm going to do it later. Yeah. Soon there will be so many new things, hopefully, available on all these platforms.
Well, Achickwitbeatz, wouldn't you agree? Miss Dogan comes across partially as a professor.
Yeah.
Okay, because she's educating a lot of the listeners right there, but she's really educating you and I right now with what she's saying, what she's bringing forth. And so, as we get ready to start winding down this interview, I gotta say, you know, if you're coming across like a professor like you did last time, now we've got to make more room for you to come in and teach like you're teaching before you get busy in the studio like you made later on this year. Wouldn't you agree, Achickwitbeatz?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to have you back sooner rather than later, for sure.
Yeah, because once she gets in that studio flow, the music writing flow, then she's like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. I don't have time. So I think we should reach out to her while she's got time, and make some invitations to have her come back.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Love
that. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's always really amazing to chat with you, and I feel like you understand me, and we share some things in common. We understand each other, so it's a pleasure, you know, coming, and I would definitely love that.
Yay. Yeah, we really appreciate you for taking the time to talk with us today. And yeah, I'm already looking forward to next time.
Me too. I really appreciate your invitations, and I will definitely be back. So happily.
Yay.
Yes. Okay. And then one last parting shot there. Please give out those locations where people can find and purchase your music so they can do that without any difficulty. Where would they go?
To find my music, Spotify, Apple Music, and all the streaming platforms, Oyku Dogan, and they can find my original music there.
Okay.
Awesome. So she's everywhere. Remember that, people. Everywhere.
Yeah. Professor Dogan joining us. And actually, that's Oyku Dogan. And so we would like to say thank you. Well, I know Achickwitbeatz is going to. But thank you so much for joining us and educating us and just sharing of yourself. And, you know, I'm going to be looking at the calendar and get with Achickwitbeatz to see just what we could do about inviting you back before you get your hands involved with the studio and so forth. So what do you think, Achickwitbeatz?
Most definitely. We got to do it.
Yeah, thanks a lot to both of you.
Hey, thank you.
Looking forward to the next one already.
All right, then.
All right.
That's the one and only Oyku Dogan right here on Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson, and broadcasting globally. And it's really been a pleasure.
All right, and that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We thank you once again for joining us. A super huge thank you to our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Atlanta, Georgia. And you know, it's just been a blast, and I'm already looking forward to next week.
Oh, yes. You know, I mean, hey, the weather is good. All kinds of stuff is happening on the upbeat. And I can't wait for next week as well. So let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. So till next time, you know where to find us. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.